कृष्णा कीर्तन नाम गान नर्तन करो, प्रेमामृतांबो निधि। धीरा धीर जना प्रिय प्रिय करो, निर्मत्सरो पूजितो। श्री चैतन्य कृपा भरो भुवि भुवो, भारवहंतारको। वंदे रूप सनातन रघुयुगो, श्री जीव गोपाल को। नाना शास्त्र विचारनेक निपुनो, षड्धर्म संस्थापको। लोकानां हितकारिणो त्रिभुवने, मन्यो शरण्याकरो। राधा कृष्ण पदारविंद भजना, नंदेन मत्तालिको। वंदे रूप सनातन रघुयुगो, श्री जीव गोपाल को। श्री गौरंग गुणानुवर्णन विधो, श्रद्धा समृद्धान्वितो। पापोतापनिकृतं तनुभृतं, गोविंद गानामृते। आनंदं बुद्धिवर्धनेक निपुनो, कैवल्य निस्तारको। वंदे रूप सनातन रघुयुगो, श्री जीव गोपाल को। त्यक्त्वा तूर्णमशेषमण्डलपति, श्रेणिं सदा तुच्छ्रवत्। भूत्वा दीनगणेश को कारुण्या, गोपीन कण्ठाश्रितो। गोपी भावरसामृतलहरी, कल्लोल मग्नो मुहुः। वंदे रूप सनातनो रघुयुगो, श्री जीव गोपाल को। पूजित कोकिल हंस सारस गणा, किरणे मयूराकुले। नाना रत्न निबद्ध मूल विटपा, श्रीयुक्त वृंदावने। राधा कृष्ण महर्निशं प्रभजतो, जीवर्थ यो मुदा। वंदे रूप सनातनो रघुयुगो, श्री जीव गोपाल को। संख्या पूर्वक नाम गाननत भी, कालावसानी कृतो। निद्राहार विहार का दिविजतो, चत्यंत दीनो चयो। राधा कृष्ण गुणा स्मृते मधुरिमा, आनंदेन सम्मोहितो। वंदे रूप सनातनो रघुयुगो, श्री जीव गोपाल को। राधा कुंड तटे कालिंद तनया, तीरे च वंशी वटे। प्रेमो माद विषाद शेष दर्शया, ग्रस्तो प्रमत्तो सदा। गायन्तो च कदा हरेर्गुणवरम्, भावाभिभातो मुदा। वंदे रूप सनातनो रघुयुगो, श्री जीव गोपाल को। हे राधे व्रज देवी के चललिते, हे नंद सुनो पुता। श्री गोवर्धन कल्प पाद पतले, कालिंदी बने कुता। Goshanto iti sarvato vrajapure Kheder Mahavirgalo Vande Rupa Sanatano Raghuyugo Shri Jiva Gopalako Vande Rupa Sanatano Raghuyugo Shri Jiva Gopalako Srila Jiva Goswami Avirbhav Tithi Mahamotsav ki jai. Srila Jiva Goswami is the youngest amongst all the Goswamis. When he was just 3 years of age, 3 or 4 years of age, he had the good fortune of having audience of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself when Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu traveled to Ramkeli to deliver Srila Rupa and Sanatana Goswami. At that time, he was barely 3 or 4 years old. And since his childhood, he had so much of attachment and attraction towards Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He was day and night absorbed with thoughts of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Srila Jiva Goswami has been one of the greatest scholars this planet Earth has ever witnessed. These are not my words. These are the words of His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada. Prabhupada was giving a lecture in San Francisco on June 28, 1971. And Prabhupada was very happy with the devotees in San Francisco. San Francisco is the second temple which Srila Prabhupada opened up in New York, where he established the deities of Lord Jagannath, Baldev and Subhadra and named it New Jagannath Puri. Prabhupada said, I am very glad because you are following in the footprints of the 6 Goswamis of Vrindavan. So, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to offer the greatest benediction, the loving devotional service to Lord Sri Krishna. And how he did it? He did it through his disciples, through his associates. Krishna Varnam Tvisha Krishna Sangopanga Parshadam. So, what are the astra and the shastras of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu never took Sudarshan Chakra. He never took a bow or bow or arrow. He never used any weapon. But who are his weapons? His weapons are his associates, his confidential servants. And amongst all the associates and amongst all the servants of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the foremost are the 6 Goswamis of Vrindavan. And amongst these Goswamis, Srila Jiva Goswami is the youngest, but one of the greatest scholars. He surpasses everyone in his erudite scholarship of Sanskrit and philosophy. Srila Jiva Goswami himself personally composed 400,000 verses in glorification of Lord Krishna. How much? 400,000 verses. Bhagavad Mahapurana is how much? Bhagavad Mahapurana is 18,000 verses. So how many Bhagavad Mahapuranas will be there? How many? More than 20. More than 20 Puranas. That is the contribution. And one of the most amazing aspect of the contribution of Srila Jiva Goswami is that wherever you will see any philosophical explanation, either in Bhagavad Gita or even in Srimad Bhagavatam or even in Chaitanya Charitamrita, that philosophical explanation, even Srila Prabhupada is presenting on the authority of Srila Jiva Goswami. Throughout, I've witnessed in so many years that everywhere it is because of Srila Jiva Goswami's authority that the Acharyas are quoting and explaining. I'll recite one. Point 10. So this chapter is entitled that Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So the three manifestations of the Supreme Lord in the form of Brahman, Paramatma and Bhagavan. So on what basis that Bhagavan is the Supreme? That explanation Srila Prabhupada quotes on the authority of Srila Jiva Goswami. Prabhupada says, in terms of his various manifestations, he is known in three features called the impersonal Brahman, the localized Paramatma, and the original personality of Godhead. And Prabhupada begins the purport by saying, Srila Jiva Goswami has explained the word Bhagavan in his Bhagavad Sandarbha. Of course, we know that Srila Jiva Goswami has given the six Sandarbha, the Shat Sandarbhas. And one of the Sandarbhas is Bhagavad Sandarbha, where he, in great detail and length, and with so many evidences from all the scriptures, he gives the conclusion of how Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The personality of Godhead being full of conceivable and inconceivable purposes. So this is another feature of philosophy which Srila Jiva Goswami has given. Srila Jiva Goswami has written on every aspect of philosophy. Why? What is the reason? To protect the world from impersonalism and incorrect philosophical conceptions and to come to the right and genuine conclusions. Srila Jiva Goswami says that the personality of Godhead being full of all conceivable and inconceivable potencies, both are present in the Supreme Lord. That is how he is supreme. He is the absolute supreme whole. Impersonal Brahman is the partial manifestation of the absolute truth, realized in the absence of such complete potencies. The first syllable of the word Bhagavan is Bha, which means sustainer and protector. The next letter Ga means leader, pusher and creator. And Va means dwelling. All living beings dwell in the Supreme Lord, and the Supreme Lord dwells within the heart of every living being. Combining all these concepts, the word Bhagavan carries the import of inconceivable potency in knowledge, energy, strength, opulence, power, and influence, devoid of all varieties of inferiority. Without such inconceivable potencies, one cannot fully sustain or protect. So in this way, we see all these philosophical concepts and all the philosophical understandings. Wherever Srila Prabhupada is explaining, he is explaining on the authority of Srila Jiva Goswami. I'll give you another example. Even in Bhagavad Gita, 9:11, Avajananti ma mudha manushim tanu mashrita. There also Srila Jiva Goswami explains that why Krishna cannot be understood. purposes. Jeev Goswami, commenting on this verse, says that Krishna in his plenary expansion as Paramatma is situated in the moving and non-moving entities of the Super Soul. So any neophyte devotee who simply gives his attention to the Archa Murti in the form of Supreme Lord in the temple and does not respect other living entities is uselessly worshipping the form of Lord in the temple. There are three kinds of devotees of the Lord, and the neophyte is the lowest stage. The neophyte devotee gives more attention to the deity in the temple than to the devotees. So every philosophical conception, we owe our indebtedness to Srila Jiva Goswami. All the Gaudiya philosophical explanations are based on Srila Jiva Goswami's contributions. Another very beautiful verse, very important verse, which establishes that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. What is that verse? The verse that establishes Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Bole? Bolo? Yes, Dayāśīl.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी मत्त परतरणान्यत किंचित अस्ति धनंजय.
No, but it does not say that. Krishna says that no one is superior to me, but even more explicit. Ete cham shakala punsha, when all the incarnations are being listed in Srimad Bhagavatam. And after that, the Sūta Goswami is concluding. He says, Ete cham shakala pumsa krishnastu bhagavan swayam indrari vyakulam lokam madayanti yuge yuge. Here I read, yesterday I was studying. So here Prabhupada is mentioning that very beautifully says, Balram, Mohini and Vaman exhibited his beauty. The most manifestation of beauty came from these three forms of the Lord. Here Prabhupada. According to Srila Jiva Goswami's statement, in accordance with authoritative sources, Lord Krishna is the source of all other incarnations. It is not that Lord Krishna has any source of incarnation. All the symptoms of the Supreme Truth are present in full, are present in the person of Lord Shri Krishna. And in the Bhagavad Gita, the Lord emphatically declares, as you said, that there is no truth greater than or equal to himself. In this stanza, the word Swayam is particularly mentioned to confirm that Lord Krishna has no other source than him. So in this way, we see, you take up any, important verse, and you will see how the explanation is coming. The explanation is coming through Srila Jiva Goswami. So a little bit, I just wanted to emphasize on this point, that how much we owe, how much every Gaudiya Vaishnava or a devotee who is following this philosophy, how much we are indebted to Srila Jiva Goswami. Because without Srila Jiva Goswami's contribution, we can know nothing about Lord Shri Krishna. So we must, from our core of our heart, express our gratitude. And we should request him, we should pray to him to bless us with the proper understanding of the philosophical conceptions which Srila Jiva Goswami was giving us. So to remove our material conceptions and to be convinced with the conclusions of what the conceptions the Acharyas are giving. Rajiv Goswami, Avirbhav Tithi Mahamotsav ki. Yeah. Anyone else? Anything you want to share on Sri Rajiv Goswami? You should all prepare. We have so many times read that what it means to be Bhajate Mam Dridhavrata. Satatam Kirtayanto Mam Yantantasya Dridhavrata. Namasyantasya Mam Bhaktya Nitya Yukta Upasate. What is that Dridhavrat? Is to observe the appearance and the disappearance day of all the acharyas and the Supreme Personality. So how do you observe if you don't study about them, if you don't know about them, if you don't glorify them? No, everyone is silent. Nothing. In so many years, we have nothing known about Shivaji Goswami's contribution. Not connected at all. Kya farak padta? Then how you will receive the mercy? Okay, we'll go to the Srimad Bhagavatam. Okay. Can you see the screen?
Yes, Prabhuji.
This is talking about the performance of various sacrificial ceremonies. What are the ingredients required? And Prabhupada in the conclusion says that it is very difficult to arrange all this. He said that to perform, four things are needed. One is Ota, one who can chant Udgata, one who kindles fire, Adhava you, and one who can supervise Brahma. Very difficult to find these people with pure intent. So what is better? Namadheyani mantrascha dakshinascha vratani cha devatanu pramakalpa sankalpas tantram evacha. Other necessities include invoking the different names of the demigods by specific hymns and vows to recompensate in accordance with the particular scriptures for specific purposes and by specific processes. The whole process of offering sacrifice is under the category of fruitive actions, and such activities are extremely scientific. They mainly depend on the process of vibrating sound with a particular accent. You see, the Smarta Brahmana reciting, they recite with a particular meter and with a particular accent. It is a great science, but due to being out of proper use for more than 4,000 years, for want of qualified Brahmanas, such performances of sacrifices are no longer effective, nor are they recommended in this fallen age. Any such sacrifice undertaken in this age as a matter of show is simply a cheating process by the clever priestly order. But such a show of sacrifices cannot be effective at any stage. fruitive action is being carried out with the help of gross materialist science. But the materialist await a still more suitable advancement in the process of vibrating sound on which the Vedic hymns are established. Gross materialist science cannot help one fulfill the real purpose of human life. It can only increase the artificial needs of human civilization. Without any solution to the problems of life. Therefore, the way of materialistic life leads to wrong type of human civilization. Since the ultimate aim of life is spiritual realization, the direct way of invoking the holy name of the Lord, as mentioned above, is precisely recommended by Lord Chaitanya, and people of the modern age can easily take advantage of this simple process, which is tenable for the conditions of the complicated social structure. Gatayo matayoseva priyashitam samarpanam Purusha Avyava Purusha Avayavayava Ete Sambhara Samvrita Ayaha. Thus I had to arrange all these necessary ingredients and paraphernalia of sacrifice from the personal bodily parts of the personality of Godhead by invocation of the demigods. Means the ultimate goal Vishnu was gradually attained, and this compensation and ultimate offering was complete. In this verse, special stress is given to the person of the Supreme Lord and not to his impersonal Brahma Jyoti as being the source of all supplies. Narayana, the Supreme Lord, is the goal of sacrificial reverence, and therefore the Vedic hymns are ultimately meant for attaining this goal. Human life is thus made successful by pleasing Narayan and getting entrance into direct association of Narayan in the spiritual kingdom of Vaikuntha. Iti sambrita sambraha purusha avyayam tameva purusham yagnam teneva yagam ishwaram tameva yajam ishwaram. Thus I created the ingredients and paraphernalia for offering sacrifice. So this was another question. That who created the paraphernalia? Because the Lord is saying, thus I created the ingredients and paraphernalia for offering sacrifices out of the parts of the body of the Supreme Lord, the enjoyer of the sacrifice. And I performed this sacrifice. Thus I created the ingredients and paraphernalia for offering sacrifices out of the part of the body of the Supreme Lord, the enjoyer of the sacrifice, and I performed the sacrifice to satisfy the Lord. This is all Brahmaji speaking. People in general are always anxious to have peace of mind or peace in the world, but they do not know how to achieve such a standard of peace in the world. Such peace in the world is obtainable by performance of sacrifice and by practice of austerity, both performance of sacrifice and performance of austerity. In the Bhagavad Gita 5:29, the following prescription is recommended. Bhoktaram yagtabasam sarvaloka maheshwaram shohidam sarvabhutanam yatvama shantim richati. The Karma Yogis know that the Supreme Lord is the factual enjoyer and maintainer of all sacrifices. And out of the austere life, they also know that the Lord is the ultimate proprietor of all planets and is the factual friend of all living entities. Such knowledge gradually converts the Karma Yogis into pure devotees of the Lord through the association of unalloyed devotees. And thus they are able to be liberated from material bondage. Brahma, the original living being, within the material world taught us the way of sacrifice. The word sacrifice suggests dedication of one's own interest for satisfaction of a second person. That is the way of all activities. Every man is engaged in sacrificing his interest for others, either in the form of family, society, community, country, or the entire human society. But perfections of such sacrifices is attained when they are performed for the sake of the Supreme Person, the Lord. Because the Lord is the proprietor of everything, because the Lord is the friend of all living creatures, and because He is the maintainer of the performance of sacrifice as well as the supplier of the ingredients of sacrifice. It is He only and no one else who should be satisfied by all sacrifices. The whole world is engaged in sacrificing energy for advancement of learning, social upliftment, economic development, and plans for total improvement of the human being. But no one is interested in sacrificing for the sake of the Lord, as it is advised in the Bhagavad Gita. Therefore, there is no peace in the world. If men at all want peace in the world, they must practice sacrifice in the interest of the Supreme Proprietor and friend of God. Tataste bhratarai me prajanam patayo nava ayajan yaktam avyaktam purusham susamahita. My dear sir, thereafter your 9 brothers, who are the masters of living creatures, perform the sacrifice, the proper rituals to satisfy both the manifested and non-manifested personalities. Yaktam avyaktam purusham susamahita. The manifest personalities are the demigods, like the rulers of the heavenly kingdom, Indra and his associates. And the non-manifested personality is the Lord Himself. The manifested personalities are mundane controllers of the material affairs, whereas the non-manifested personality of Godhead is transcendental, beyond the range of the material atmosphere. In the age of Kali, the manifested demigods are also not to be seen. For space travel has completely stopped. So both the powerful demigod and the supreme personality of Godhead are non-manifested to the covered eyes of the modern man. Modern men want to see everything with their eyes. Although they are not sufficiently qualified. Consequently, they disbelieve in the existence of the demigods or of the supreme God. They should see through the pages of authentic scriptures and should not simply believe their unqualified eyes. Even in these days, God can also be seen by qualified eyes filled with contentment of love of God. Tatascha manva kale ijire rasyo pare pitaro vibhu daitya manusya kartubhir vibhu. Thereafter the Manus, the father of mankind, the great sages, the forefathers, the learned scholars, the Daitas, the mankind performance sacrifice for the fears of the God. The Daitas are devotees of the demigods because they want to derive the greatest possible material facilities from them. The devotees of the Lord are eknisht or absolutely attached to the devotional service of the Lord. Therefore, they have practically no time to seek the benefits of material facilities. What argument Srila Prabhupada is saying. Because of their realizations of their spiritual identity, they are more concerned with spiritual emancipation than with material benefit. I'll stop here. So how the creation comes into place, how various articles and items, the ingredients is manufactured by Brahman, we all mentioned in this section what we studied. Hare Krishna. Anyone has any question or any contribution? Yes, Raman?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Prabhuji,
Little
19
louder.
नंबर
Yeah.
प्रभुजी 19 नंबर श्लोक में फर्स्ट पैराग्राफ का एक लाइन मुझे समझ में नहीं है
19. This is the one. Padeshu sarvabhutani pumsa sati pado vido. Amritam shemam abhinam. Which paragraph?
फर्स्ट पैराग्राफ प्रभुजी
First paragraph. Okay, read.
जी प्रभुजी out of the total manifestation of the Sandhini energy of the Lord, 1/4 is displayed in the material world and 3/4 are displayed in the spiritual world. The Lord's energy is divided into 3 components parts, namely Sandhini, Samvid and Ladini Shakti. In other words, he is full manifestation of existence, knowledge and bliss. In this material world, such a sense of existence, Prabhuji ye line. In this material world, such a sense of existence, knowledge and pleasure is merely exhibited.
Meagerly का मतलब बहुत जरा सा, बहुत थोड़ा सा exhibited.
Meagerly exhibited, and all living entities who are minute parts and parcel of the Lord are eligible to release such consciousness of existence, knowledge and bliss very minutely in liberated stage. Whereas in conditioned stage of material existence, they can hardly appreciate what is factual existence, factual, existential, cognizable, and pure happiness of life.
So what is the question? What do you want to know?
प्रभु जी अब ना समझ में आ गई
हाँ?
प्रभु जी मुझे ये लाइन समझ में नहीं आ रहा था कि इसमें meagerly exhibited all living entities who are minute parts and parcel of the Lord and are eligible to release such consciousness of existence, knowledge and bliss very minutely in the liberated stage.
हाँ.
Whereas the conditioned stage of material existence, they can hardly appreciate what is the factual, existential, cognizable and pure happiness of life.
Yeah.
Prabhuji, the liberated souls who exist in far greater numerical strength than those souls in the material world can factually experience the potency of the above mentioned Sandhini, Sambit and Ladini energy of the Lord in the matter of deathlessness, fearlessness and freedom from the old age and disease.
That is liberation. Huh?
Prabhuji.
Then only if they have not experienced it fully, how can they be liberated? Liberated means they have reached that stage. They are deathless, Amritam, then fearless, abhyam, and freedom from old age and disease. So that means the material conditioning is over. They are no longer baddha, they are mukta. Okay? They have become mukta jiva. They are no longer baddha. Then they can relish. These are the spiritual potencies. Like we have the material energy manifesting in sattva, rajas, and tamas. And the spiritual energy is manifesting in sandhini, samvit, and ladini. So the conditioned soul is under the influence of rajas, tamas, and sattva, whereas the liberated soul is under the influence of sandhini, samvit, and ladini. So how the conditioned soul can relish samvit, sandhini, and ladini? Not possible. Okay, is that clear?
जी प्रभु जी। प्रभु जी यहाँ पे जो लिबरेटेड स्टेज में है वो
A little louder,
fully-
आवाज नहीं आ रही मुझे आपकी.
प्रभु जी मेटेरियल वर्ल्ड में जो लिबरेटेड सोल है वो ये पोटेंसी को फुल्ली रिलीज नहीं कर
फुली
पाते।
मैनिफेस्ट यहाँ नहीं होता है ना, यहाँ मैनिफेस्ट ही नहीं है फुली, तो उसको एक्सपीरियंस कैसे करे? The full experience is only in the spiritual world, not here. Hare Krishna Gaurangi. Hari bol. Hare Krishna. बोलो हरे कृष्णा. जोर से बोलो, सुनाई नहीं दिया, इधर तक पहुंचा नहीं. ये टीका कैसे लगाई है? टीका लगाई है, तिलक नहीं लगाई है. हाँ? तिलक की जगह टीका कहाँ से आ गया?
खुद लगाई है।
हाँ, खुद लगाई है. अमोहा. हरे कृष्णा. अमोहा ने अभी अपने स्कूल में रिसाइटेशन किया. आज का वामन देव का सुनाओ श्लोक. वामन देव के
रमणे बलि अद्भुत वाम प्रलय खटीर जड़ित जन पावन केशवदीत वाम वाम
वामन रूपा
रूपा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे.
वन मोर टाइम. Dayāśīl.
चरयसि विक्रमणे बलि अद्भुत वाम प्रलयकर्णी प्रलयकर्णीरजरित जन पावन केशवदीत वाम वामन रूप जय जगदीश हरे.
Yeah, thank you. Very good. Chalayasi Vikramane Balim Adbhutava. I was speaking in the morning. It was a little bit of understanding that this kind of Vishwarup or Virat Rup or the universal form was never exhibited by the Lord. What he exhibited in the sacrificial arena of Bali Maharaj, he expanded to such an extent that he could cover all the upper planetary system. Everything was covered. Such gigantic form was never exhibited. Okay. Okay, so thank you very much. Shri Vamandev Avirbhav Tithi Mahamotsav ki jai. Such a character, I am so inspired by the character of Shri Bari Maharaj. I read it. I almost read the 8 chapters yesterday. In parts, of course, not full. But many philosophical points and many application points were there in the morning class. You must hear. Even my teacher was there, who is teaching us, who taught us Bhakti Shastri and Bhakti Vaibhav. Prabhuji was there throughout the class. And very much he encouraged me. And he was very satisfied. That was the best consolation for me. hear, read, write. No one is writing. In last 1 month, I have not received even one writing. Don't want to write. Why? Because if you write, it will be written in your heart. That you don't want to change. You want to let Maya rule the heart. Don't allow Maya to leave. Change it by writing. Hare Krishna. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Jai Gaur Premanand. Hare Krishna.